Hey guys, welcome back. Anthony Pierre here with vlog number 4. Thanks for tuning back in. Some of you guys may have caught my live Q&A on Monday, and we went over chemicals in food. Today, however, I want to go over something a little bit different. Normally, I do a recap of the Monday Q&A. However, some of you guys may have noticed there's an article floating around. This article is about a female bodybuilder from Australia. She overdosed on protein and died. So big thing with this is the article itself mentions the fact the woman has a rare disorder, a rare genetic disorder. It flat out says that in there. But what they do is they point the finger at the supplement companies for not letting this girl regulate her protein on her own, so to speak. Basically, what the article says is the supplement companies are held responsible because they promote a product that is potentially lethal. So if that's the case, and it is, and it's tragedy whenever anyone dies. 25 years old, 50 years old, 75 years old. That is always a tragedy, and that's definitely not what we're trying to downplay here. But we also shouldn't use this woman's death from a genetic disorder that affects 1 out of every 8,000 people as a way to push an agenda. What that agenda is, I don't know. It could be any number of things. And, every now and then things come out about multivitamins, how they're going to kill you. Fish oil, it's going to kill you. Vitamin D, it's going to kill you. Sunlight's going to kill you. Then there's the obvious ones. Cigarettes are going to kill you. Tobacco is going to kill you. Drinking paint thinner is going to kill you. So we know there's certain things that you can take in and you can ingest that are going to be potentially toxic that builds up. Protein is one of those things that your body buffers its toxicity by filtering out the ammonia. When you have urea cycle disorder, it is a rare disorder that does not allow your body to process out the ammonia that builds up in your system from protein breakdown, if it allows you to break down the protein at all. So what you're left with is a situation that's very volatile. The big thing about this article is everyone's taking a stand against protein as people are taking in too much protein, and that's what leads to this. No. People are taking in potentially too much protein. That I will agree with. But what ends up happening is it's not the quest for protein that led to this girl's death. It was an inability to process the protein she was taking in. Unfortunately, what that means is this girl may have lived an absolutely normal life. Let's say she wasn't a bodybuilder. She wasn't a figure competitor. At some point, the protein buildup would have been so much that she would have actually passed from this anyhow. It's an inevitability thing. If she did not know it was there, and she didn't recognize the signs and symptoms as what they were for that issue, which in and of itself, those signs and symptoms are pretty extreme. The signs and symptoms of urea cycle disorder are very similar to that of a stroke. So there would have been some sort of indication that something was going wrong before this moment. Potentially, and they don't cover how long she was on the diet. They don't cover what they consider a high protein diet. So think about this. 1 protein shake a day is going to increase the amount of protein that you take. Potentially and relatively, that'll make you a high protein dieter. So you may be consuming 50 grams of protein a day, but it's higher than somebody else in your family. It's higher than somebody else around you. So the term high is neither quantified or qualified. There's no duration given as well. So unfortunately with this article, there's a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of questions that aren't being asked. Everyone's just going, oh, protein's bad. So from that, I want to challenge you. Find the answers to these questions. How do they quantify a high protein diet? How are they qualifying that she was on this diet in excess? Excess is a relative term. High is a relative term. How long was she on the diet for? Did she have any signs or symptoms of this issue before she went in there? They said it was undiagnosed, so I would have to assume no. What else was she taking? Because there's a lot of things that would have messed up her kidney filtration. Assuming that she was just taking protein powder, okay, we know she has a disorder that won't let her process it. So if she's just taking protein powder and she's not taking it in conjunction with anything else, okay, that's something. What does the rest of her supplement regime look like? I don't know many bodybuilders or figure competitors or fitness competitors that just take protein powder. Maybe she was just taking over-the-counter stuff. Maybe she wasn't. So there's questions there. There's a lot of questions that aren't being answered. So before everyone jumps on the protein is bad bandwagon, ask yourself, what else was going on here? It is tragic. Don't get me wrong. It is always tragic when someone passes away. I don't care what your age is. However, there's more to the story. There's a lot of questions that aren't answered. Someone's turning around saying, hey, it's a high protein diet. Relative to what? People live in excess. That is 100% true. And it may have been true. She may have been downing protein shakes every hour on the hour. She may have been consuming egg whites and chicken and beef and whatever else every other hour. Who knows? We don't know that. That's not quantified. There's no log of what she was eating, which would be interesting because I know a lot of competitors keep logs of what they eat because of the fact they need to be on top of their macro count. They need to be completely on point, especially if they're getting close to competition time. So there's a lot of unanswered questions that I would challenge you guys to look at before you jump to conclusions. If the conclusion is protein's bad, that's fine. If you found a logical way to get there, if you read an article, an abstract article that indicates this, then there's more to it. If high protein diets killed everybody, Chau Magaucha, it's a Brazilian style steakhouse where they bring you tons of meat, would actually have to shut down. The reason why is they would literally be poisoning people. It would be a public health crisis. Texas de Brazil, another place that does that. There's places all over the place. All you can eat buffet would actually have to shut down because it would be a public crisis. It would be a health hazard to go into these places. But that won't happen. It would be the same as going to a bar and shutting it down because alcohol is toxic. We know it's toxic. We know if it builds up in your system, you can get alcohol poisoning, or you can die from alcohol poisoning. We know that. But we also know there's a metabolic pathway for alcohol that should allow you to break it down. And, well, since you should be able to break it down, you can consume it. It's not a plug for you drinking. I'm not encouraging you to go drink. But there's actually worse things that you could be taking for your health than an increase in protein. So that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, share it. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to post and have questions, comments, and complaints about it, and that's fine. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to think. I encourage you to go out and find the answers. If that means you want to go vegan, fine. Find the answers that you see fit. Take the information that you need and apply it to your world. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, go ahead, share it with everybody. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the dislike button. I'm okay with that because that means that you watched it. If you did like it, and share it. Have a good one. I'll see you guys on Monday for my next live Q&A, noon Central Standard Time. Nutrition, not fiction. Thanks for watching.